Hey, welcome to Monday Morning Marriage Minute. Hope you're having a great week. And remember, you can send your comments, questions, or insights, or rebuttals, or arguments, whatever you got. Send them to oneminutemarriage@gmail.com. Try to get back to everybody. Some I take a few days, so just remember that. Speaking of emails and phone calls, this week has been a busy week for me. In fact, I'm kind of losing my voice. I've been doing a lot of talking, a lot of counseling. Had 3 different spouses that have caught their spouse in an affair. And when I mean caught, I mean caught. We're talking pictures and texts and the like. And it's just heavy on my heart because that's part of what you deal with when you do this type of thing. When you're trying to help people, you draw a lot of hurt people, and that's okay. So if you've been hurt, please reach out to me. But it's been a long week, but it's been making me think about something I just recently heard about a recent Gallup poll, and it was the top things that parents today hear from their kids. And the very first one is "I'm bored," which is no surprise because if they don't have a phone in their hand, they might feel bored. But number 2 is "this is hard," or it's too hard. Think about that for a second. Our kids are growing up thinking it's too hard or this is too hard. A lot of that has to do with technology, because if you can't Google it or there's no app for that and they actually have to put in some work, it's too hard. Again, take that with the fact that in today's generation, if you're 30 and under, you grew up as what I've mentioned before, the bike helmet generation, where you grew up with a bike helmet on because it was safe. In fact, some of you had to wear a bike helmet at the dinner table because it was safe. And then you have parents that dote over you and try to take care of everything and try to solve all your problems. And then you grow up thinking, man, if it challenges me, it's too hard. Put all those things together, and when you get into a relationship, such as marriage, guess what? You're in for a long ride, buddy. It's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy. And there's no app that you can look up, and you can't Google it. It's just going to take gut-busting hard work. So, going back to these 3 different people this week who contacted me regarding their spouse having an affair, kind of hits home, because here's the deal. The reason these other 3 people are having an affair, they found somebody that it was easy. I don't mean that person was easy, but they found the relationship was easy because chemicals are flowing. They're on this new high. Everything is roses. Everything is stars and, fireworks. And people confuse this one simple fact. They think if it's easy, it's right. They think if it's easy, it's meant to be. They think if it's easy, it's got to be the right person. They've got to be the right one. But let me remind you that you felt that way with the person you're cheating on. You thought it was easy. You thought it was right. You thought it was simple. You had fireworks then. You had shooting stars then. The problem is you didn't realize that relationships take hard work. Listen, there's going to be a few things I harp on a lot in Monday Morning Marriage Minute, and this is one of them, definitely. Marriage is gut-busting hard work. You don't get a great marriage without putting in the work. And if you leave your spouse for somebody else because it seems easier, and they appreciate you, and they love you, and they show you affection, and they're understanding, and they're easy to talk to, blah, 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 you're missing the point. It takes hard work. You're just on a high. Those things will go away, and in time in the relationship that you left one for the other, it'll be just as much hard work until you wake up and realize, hey, someone here is not putting in the effort that they should. And it's probably the one who's cheating. Maybe, maybe not. But point is if you're in a relationship, guess what? Time to put your helmet on, adjust your cup, put your pads back on, put your mouth guard in, look at the playbook, and put in the hard work. After 34 years with the same woman, guess what? It's like planting a garden. Every year you got to pull the weeds. Every year you got to till the soil. Every year you got to spread manure. Every year you got to water. Every year you got to get rid of the bugs. Every year you got to pull the weeds. And it doesn't get easier every year. It's the same work every year. But the one nice thing about doing it every year is you learn shortcuts. And you learn that it's worth it. And if you're like me, the garden expands a little more and a little more and a little more, and it gets more beautiful and more lush. And you learn a lot along the way. You learn what plants to plant next to others. You learn how to harvest, when to harvest. You learn not to overwater or when to water. You learn all these things, and though it's a garden and it takes hard work, every year you put in the work, but it's worth it. Because at some point you get to sit down at a table of lush fruit and vegetables, things like that, and you get to enjoy the labor you get to enjoy the rewards of your labor. So, if you're in a relationship and you feel like giving up, don't. Put in the hard work. Garth Heckman with 1 Minute Marriage. On Monday mornings, make sure you check out my YouTube channel, subscribe, pass this on to friends, family, and remember, spend time with your best friend because you're married to him. We'll see you next week.